Hello, everyone. Welcome. How are you doing? It's so beautiful and sunny now. It officially feels like summer. It's been a weird year, but you know what? Summer is here, and I love the sunshine. It always makes me feel so good.
Yes, I know. Same. It's so beautiful in Kelowna. I'm like, oh, it's so nice out. However, we are inside working because this is priority number one. You guys are our priority. Carly and I were not live last week. We had just shared a video into the group, but we weren't live because Carly was on holidays visiting family in Saskatchewan. So we're back and we're excited to bring this topic forth to you guys. We love, love, love being able to talk about your goals and your vision, because without that, we're kind of blindly just going through our life and we don't really have a roadmap on how we want to get there. And I always love that analogy. It's just like if Carly was going to Saskatchewan last week and her and Aaron and the kids hopped in the car and it was like, okay, well, where do we go? You're like, didn't you look it up? Or what do you mean, where do we go? Like, don't we have a plan? Like, how long do we get there? What route do we want to take? So instead of just, putting your foot on the gas and just blindly steering into the abyss, it's nice to have somewhat of a plan in place. So you actually are driving like with an effort towards something specific. So that's why, Carly and I, we love setting goals for ourselves personally. So that personal side comes into, we always, again, touching back on health, relationships, mindset, business. I'll build goals into each of those quadrants. And those will be personal goals for me. There'll be business goals for me. Carly and I both separately run our own digital affiliate marketing businesses. And then we also together have Ambition Babes. So we have goals for Ambition Babes. We have goals for our businesses. We have goals for ourselves. We are goal-centered people. And in that, we have a visualization practice that we implement as well, so that it helps really allow things to come through in our minds and be able to really see things. Because the beauty of your brain is it does not know the difference between perception and reality. So it's like if you go to the movies and you're watching a horror movie, for instance. I don't watch horror movies. However, if I did, I would be scared to death. And even though I'm sitting in the comfort of my safe little home and nothing around me is actually happening, whatever's happening on the screen, my brain believes to be something real, therefore eliciting a response like, oh, I'm scared or I'm happy or something. And that can carry forth after that's even gone. Your brain's still thinking about that thing that it perceives. So it's the same with your visualization with setting goals for yourself. You can start to visualize yourself accomplishing those goals without them having to even have been accomplished. That's a really cool thing. So you start to believe it and see it here, and then you're doing all the things here to actually enact that plan that's in your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And it's so powerful. And in the beginning, it can feel like, well, is this really going to happen? Like it feels like maybe this is just wishful thinking. But really, when you visualize something so clearly and you believe that it's already happened and it just maybe hasn't happened in this like reality yet, but it's coming, the feelings that you get and the emotions that you can actually elicit, it's real because it has actually happened. If you believe in quantum physics and if you look more into that, when you have a vision for yourself, like any top successful person, they will often visualize. They'll visualize, if they're a sports player, they'll visualize, scoring the basketballs, or if they're doing a presentation, they're going to visualize what the audience is like. And it's so amazing to hear stories that it's impossible to make these things up. The visualization has so much power. And I feel like a lot of people get stuck on the how. Well, I don't even want to visualize because I don't know how it would happen. Like, I'm just not successful yet. So why would I bother even visualizing? Like, that's just way too out of my comfort zone. The thing is you can start right now, no matter where you're at. If you're $1 bazillion in debt and you got nobody around you and you're feeling helpless, like you can still start right now and start creating your reality and putting action behind it. Because once you have, like Ali said, sort of a map of where you want to go, you'll be inclined, your body will want to make it happen. So it will start taking inspired action and you will start connecting with people that maybe you never did. You'll start doing things that maybe you never did, investing in things and, all these different aspects that are going to help you reach that goal. And it's amazing how it will start to come to fruition. And Ali and I could give you countless examples of just us personally, really weird, very specific goals and visions that we've had for ourselves that felt so real that are now actually real today. And we have, like, it's mind blowing what can happen. Like, if you believe in law of attraction, which if you don't, get off our page, really, because I mean, seriously, that shit is the real deal. And visualization is so much a part of that. And the goal part of it, the actual concrete strategies, that's very tactical. That's things that you can do. So you need to have a vision, and then you need to back it up with goals and action, and let go of the how. The how will come as you start to build yourself and gain that confidence and connect with new people. You'll start getting more specific with your goals on those tactical things that you're going to be doing, the how it's going to happen. But you have to start somewhere. No matter where you're at, if you do not have a vision for what you want, you deserve to have a big, crazy, wild vision for yourself, and go for it. And if it feels too uncomfortable to say in 3 to 5 years, do it 10 years from now. What do you want your life to look like? Because we can create freaking anything in 10 years, but we have to start right now. You have to start visualizing that right now, and you will get there, but you have to start somewhere.
Absolutely. So in terms of like tactics, when you want to approach this, first things first, you gotta write it down.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing that's going to serve you if it just lives up here kind of floating around in your mind. You've got to go old school and put the old pen to paper. These are my 2020 goals. So you've got to put it to paper. That is step one. Go sit down after you watch this call at some point today. First of all, take action and actually write down your goals. Mm-hmm. Don't just think every single day, oh, it'd be so great to have some goals and vision, and then never actually do anything about it. Then nothing changes in your life, and then you're always going to be a victim to your own story, to your own bullshit. So own that today. I listened to a great podcast, Ed Mylett, love him. I posted it here in this group, and it was all about that visualization practice. And literally the first thing was write down your goals. I was like, you know what? I always write down my goals, but I haven't really done it lately. I've just kind of been thinking about them. Put it to paper.
Yeah.
Then from there, now you actually have a concrete, your brain is now seeing what you want to achieve. So you have something written down, so you have an action plan. So now it's going, so say if it's, let's say make a body thing. Okay, well, I want to, lose 10 pounds. Okay, great, Allie, that's a great goal, but now what? Or I want to make $10,000 this month. Again, great goal, but now what? So it can't just be I've got the goal. It's that I need somebody to then match that, so I take action on it. And in my visualization practice, that's when I'm weaving in these components of when I've made the $10,000 this month. It feels incredible. I'm able to do this or that. Like I'm putting it into a story and into an emotion, so I'm much more connected to the outcome of that goal. I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm wearing a bikini and I feel so confident. I'm so happy that I achieved that goal. And you can see that I'm speaking in the tense as though it's already been achieved. So I'm not talking about I want to lose 10 pounds. It's I have lost 10 pounds and now I feel, so it's already speaking to what's already happened. So then there has to be a plan. So say, okay, I want to make $10,000 this month. And then in my vision, it's made me feel this and that. But now it's like, well, what are the efforts? So if I want to make $10,000 this month, am I going to make that from Ambition Babes? Am I going to make that myself? Am I going to make that for my business? If I'm making that for my business, then how many people am I talking to? How many leads am I reaching out to? How many people are buying into this or doing that? And I have to really get clear on now the backlog work behind that goal. Otherwise, it doesn't really seem very real. But again, now I have more of a roadmap in order to really start to drive myself forward, and you become so driven to achieve it because then it matches your vision. I don't want to hear my vision. And again, this is something I wrote out, my 2020 vision. I wrote it all out and I speak in the tense again, as though it's already happened. I don't think about the how am I going to make $10,000 this month? It will start to come together for me, and it already has. So it's really incredible when you set those goals and actually put intention behind them. Then I go in to my vision every single day and I read it. I read this thing and I read it touching it with my hands. So I'm putting a physical touch that then brings about connection into my body, into my circuitry, into my neural pathways. This is a connection. So I'm not just reading it, I'm also touching it as I'm reading along. Now I'm connected to it. Third to that, there's a voice recording app on your phone. Mine's just called Voice Memos.
Mm-hmm.
I see it, but it's called Voice Memo app. Everyone has one on their phone. And I went in and I said out loud, I read my vision out loud, and I recorded it on my phone. I listen to that every single night when I'm falling asleep. It's like, night, night, Allie. You know, some people listen to meditation. I listen to me reading out my own vision. So then I'm rewiring my subconscious mind. So then you bet when I wake up, I'm listening to it again. I read that paper, and how much more intention do I set forth with in my day? Because now I have a path and a plan in mind. My physical being is wiring me to achieve exactly what it feels is real.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'm not picking up that bag of chips. I don't even have an inclination for it because that doesn't match my goal of losing 10 pounds and feeling amazing in my bikini body. Then why would I be eating these chips? You feel out of alignment. Or instead of going, it's a beautiful sunny day, instead of going and sitting at the beach, I'm sitting at my computer for 8 hours a day. I'm getting so much work done. It's because I want to get to that goal. Like now I feel more driven because I have goals, a plan, and a vision. And all of that keeps me in alignment. And it is literally rewiring my subconscious mind to have different behaviors and actions. And it's pushing aside all of those limiting beliefs, all of those doubts. Like Carly said, the how. That's that part of your ego that comes in. Well, how will you accomplish that? Well, you'll never get there. You'll never make that money. You'll never lose that weight. You'll never be this. You'll never be that. Just stay exactly where you've always been. Forget about those goals and dreams. Ego keeps you safe, keeps you exactly where you've always been. It takes a concerted effort to become a goal-crushing machine in your life. But when you can do small, these are small things. Write it down. Set at least 3 to 5 goals for yourself, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Consider building them out within health, mindset, relationships, and business, because we want you to be fulfilled in all areas of your life. Set a plan for each of those goals. If I want to lose 10 pounds, what does that mean? Okay, well, I'm going to go to the gym every day, or I'm going to track my food that I'm eating, or I'm going to start meal prepping, or X, Y, Z, and then build it into a vision. Mm-hmm. Attach some emotion to that outcome. So, you know, in 3 months from now, so it's like, wow, 3 months ago, I set forth on my vision and I'm so excited that I've lost the 10 pounds and I look in the mirror and I feel amazing. You're writing that today as though it's already a lived experience and your mind believes it to be true.
Yeah.
And it literally happens.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And celebrate those wins. So like, if your goal was to go to the gym and you start taking some healthier actions in your life, every time you do it, even if you didn't hit, maybe you wanted to go 6 days a week or 5 days a week, maybe you only hit 3 times. Instead of focusing on the 2 days that you missed, focus on the 3 days that you did go, give yourself a pat on the back and take a look at how you can show up differently next week to ensure that you hit your goal. Do you want to go 5 days a week? How could you rearrange your time differently? Or how can you feel more aligned with it? Maybe you weren't listening to your vision enough that you weren't feeling so motivated to do it. How can you shift that? Or maybe you set yourself up for a little too much right off the bat. So maybe the first couple of weeks, you dial it back, you take a look at your goal. If you're not hitting it properly and you're feeling down on yourself, we want to set you up for success. And if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're going to get down on yourself, you're likely to give up. And then that's not what we want to see. We'd rather you reevaluate your goals. If you've set them too big to start with, reevaluate, see if there's anything you can change. Maybe you dial it back. Maybe your next week, you're going to try and go just 4 times. And once you've done it 4 times, maybe 2 weeks in a row, then maybe you bump it up to 5, right? So you're always checking in with your goals to see, how am I doing with this? How am I feeling? Am I feeling aligned? Some people will say like, oh, I want to make $10,000 a month. But they don't really know what that means. They don't know what that could do for them. So maybe it's like, I want to help 10 people a month, right? Or I want to help 5 people a month. And really thinking about how you could make an impact on someone. If you reframe even the verbiage of your goal, you might be more motivated and therefore you'll still make the 10 grand. It just shows up in a different way because you're focusing in on different aspects of it. So take a look at your goals, reevaluate them regularly, because this should be something that you're focused on. If you've got big goals, if you've got big aspirations in life, you need to be doing this daily. like on a regular basis, checking in with yourself, like Ali said, writing them out, visualizing them, doing the practice. And again, we've written out goals a bazillion times. Ali checked in with herself and said, you know what, it's been a while. I did that a couple weeks ago. And when I did it again, even though I'm crushing goals all the time for me personally and in business, I wrote them out again and just changed up some things. I felt so friggin' fired up. And that's what you need to do, is really look at what you're doing in your day-to-day. And if you're not feeling fired up, there's probably a goal that needs to change. There's something that needs to motivate you in another way. You need to look at that vision and get fired up about your life, because you deserve to feel excited and happy and passionate every day. If you're not feeling like that, something is unaligned. Something you're doing is unaligned with what you want and the way you feel, the people you're hanging out with, the things that you're doing. You need to take a look at that, reevaluate, and have some reflection time. Taking time to yourself and getting things on paper is vital, because how you act and what you say in real life and then what's going on in here, like if they're not matching, that disconnect is going to wreak havoc on you actually getting that sustainable long-term goal. Because that's what we want to see you guys getting to, is fulfilling that long-term vision for yourself. It's not just an overnight gratification. This takes time. It takes dedication. And every time you have one small win, give yourself a pat on the back, because you're doing it. You're compounding those results every single day that you do this.
Yes. And your goals are going to look different than someone else's. What Carly puts down on her goal list is going to be completely different than what I put down on mine. So it's not that you feel like, don't compare your goals to other people, and don't set goals for yourself that you don't feel some sort of an emotional attachment to. Yeah. There has to be a reason why. If I say I want to lose 10 pounds, it can't just be to be like, oh, maybe that's because I just want to, or there has to be a reason why. It can't just be, maybe I should, I don't know. There has to be a reason about, like, oh, then maybe I'll feel this in my bikini or whatever. Like, there has to be some sort of a motivator. If I want to make $10,000 a month, that's great. Make 20, 30, fucking 50. Make whatever you want to make every month, but it has to be relevant to you. Why is it that number? Well, then all of my bills are paid and covered. And then I've got this for spending and I've got this for savings. Then that number makes sense for you. If it's $20,000, it's because I want to cover this, and save this and this. You have to know why you're setting the goal that you're setting. So having a bit more of an emotional attachment to the outcome, because seriously, since I wrote my goals list, yes, we'll speak to that. Since I wrote my goals list on Saturday, it's crazy the things that are like flowing in my way since I got clear on my vision. It's wild how in alignment, even when I pull up my podcast, like when I'm driving to the gym, everything I'm listening to is now everything that was on my goals list that I'm like, oh, I want to grow here or learn this or do that. It's like things are finding me in terms of like my financial goals, and things are lining up at work differently. I was like, wow, I am so thankful. I spent my Saturday night at home watching a visualization practice video and writing every single thing out, because then I had this all implemented and in place. So once you get actually clear on it and you're consistent, like Carly said, it's every single friggin' day. It's not just like I wrote out my goals list and then I closed my journal and I put it on the shelf and now it just sits there and collects dust. I ripped my pages literally out of my journal. It's not here, it's here. I tote this around with me. I take it to bed with me so I can read it. I take it back out here in the morning so I can read it again. I look at it multiple times a day because it's a constant reminder. It's like on my phone. I have all the things that I want to achieve in a day on my phone. So I stare at that every single day, goals, things. The more that you continue to program your brain to see and believe that message, the more that it will happen. And the universe then is like, oh, this is what you want. Now you have a direction. Here's your map. Let me show you the way. Yeah. And we bullshit you not. It is so true. So let's talk about when we're talking about speaking out your vision. So it's talking about something as though like you've already lived it. I don't really want to have to read my vision out right now, but it's
kind of like if you were to time travel however long you want, say 3, 5, 10 years, whatever you feel comfortable with. Like if you're feeling resistance, say if you do a 3-year vision plan for yourself and you're sitting there being like, oh, but I don't think I could do that, or ooh, but I might want to get pregnant then, so that would kind of slow things down, or whatever. Then bump it a little farther, bump it to 5 years, or bump it to 10 years.
Okay, so this is speaking to the future.
Yeah.
But I wrote it as though it's like if you picked this up and read this, you would think that this already happened.
Yeah.
If someone read my diary, they'd be like, oh, Allie's achieved all of this. I haven't.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about Ambition Babes. I wrote it into my vision. Ambition Babes continues to blossom as Carly and I sell out our 75-person live events. Our courses have now earned us over $100,000 and we are on cloud 9. Our courses right now haven't earned us $100,000, but they will. That's a goal.
Yeah.
So I wrote this as though it's already happened. Guess who believes this? Me. Guess who's much more going to work harder at Ambition Babes to get our courses to $100,000? Me, because it's in my vision. So again, our courses have now earned us over $100,000. And we are on cloud 9. We have been asked to speak at multiple events and we're featured on 3 podcasts. Does that not sound like I'm telling you that right now? Like I'm telling you like, hey, we've been asked to speak at multiple events and we're featured on 3 podcasts. That sounds as though it's happening now. This hasn't happened, but that's what I look at in my vision.
And Allie, I want to point out how specific you are because they commented something like, I have the house of my dreams, I'm debt-free, something like that. So that's great, but that is very general. So instead, I'm living in my beautiful house that is exterior painted with gray and I've got white interior. Like you really want to make it so specific so you can feel it. I'm now debt-free because I've paid off my student loan. We're traveling. Like now that you're debt-free, what are you doing? Right? So you want to make it very specific because you're not really going to get attached to like the house of my dreams. Like, yes, that's great to say, but when you can pinpoint like, and I have my favorite painting on the wall and I've got my little reading nook, like when you can think about those friggin' details, it makes it that much more real.
Yes. And I'm just trying to think of like where I wrote about like here, even like I'm sitting in my new office. I'm looking at doing a home reno. I've been looking at this for a long time. I now have an architect. I wrote this on my goals. Like I now have an architect. I'm getting a building plan designed. Like that's so exciting. And in this, I'm in my house in this and I'm staring at my walls in my office. And I'm so thankful that I'm admiring what I've created in my new space and these beautiful walls. I look in the mirror at my body and I'm so proud of what I've accomplished. I weigh, and then I put in what I weigh. I put in what my body fat is. Like, that doesn't even exist yet, but it does now. It does now, and you best believe how much more driven I am to achieve it. Like even this, I've said I want to trade in my SUV. So I'm buying a new SUV. I've traded in my 2013 Santa Fe, and I'm walking in the dealership doors with a $40,000 check to purchase my new white 7-passenger SUV. Feels amazing. I'm so thrilled. Like that sounds like I'm doing it tomorrow, right? You know what I mean? So when you write out your vision, you're writing it in a future paced sense as though it's already happened, and being so detailed and specific, that makes it that much more real to you. And this is really like, we're just scratching the surface here. We actually talk about this in heavy detail in our courses, specifically our Level Up Your Leadership, our PACE course that we do. We talk about creating a vision. We have a vision exercise that walks you through all of this. But this is just for you guys to start to get started. In the very least, write out 3 to 5 goals. In the very least, put pen to paper. You are 42% more driven to actually achieve those goals if they are on paper. That is a statistical fact. 42% more likely to achieve them if it is written down. So go write them down, whatever it might be, and have some sort of an emotional connection to it so it feels real for you. Even if it's just, I want to take a holiday this year. Why? Who's it going to affect? Honestly, for a recording app, no, there's nothing. Mine just came with my iPhone. It's just called Voice Memos.
Yeah, it's just like it comes with it.
Someone's Alexa. Yeah, I would just search like apps. Like this is like, it's just called Voice Memos. Any voice recording app, and you just press record and it saves. I save it into my notes. It's super easy. But become attached to it. So write them down. Build a plan that you want to achieve it. So not just my goal is I want to lose 10 pounds, and then you sit here and you still eat chips. That's not gonna work for you. So then have an actual step of like, okay, if my goal is I want to lose 10 pounds, well, you bet that I'm going to start showing up at the gym every day, or I'm going to put 30 minutes aside to go for a walk, or I'm going to track my calories on my FitnessPal, or I'm going to this or that, or I want to earn $10,000 a month. Why? Well, I just did out my whole budget and my house and bills is this much, my savings is this much, and then I want to pay down debt, or I want to do this, and then I can buy a trip, or whatever that amount might be. Have a reason behind it, and then build it into a vision. Spend some time to look at your visualization to see, where do I want my future to go? What do I want things to look like for myself? And write it as though you're living it. Feel it in your bones. And it's incredible when it happens. You're like, whoa, things are just start to shift in your life. And it is such a beautiful, cool thing that you can do for yourself.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so I just put up there, if you guys are going to be doing this exercise and going to be committing to your goals, drop hashtag goals in the comment, whether you're live or you're watching the replay. We want to see who is doing this. And it's great if you can get an accountability buddy, like even just commenting here, there's going to be a piece of you that's like, well, I commented on that video, I need to do it. But also like, connect with a friend or connect with someone in our group and gain some accountability to keep you motivated, so you can both check in on each other. Hey, did you do the exercise? Hey, did you check in on your goals? Like, how are you feeling? Like that kind of extra work. Again, this is just like adding layers to it, because there's so much. We could build an entire freaking courses on goals and visualization, but this is just to get you started. So thank you guys so much. Yay, we have our first hashtag goals. That's amazing. Thanks for all the great questions today too. Those were really great. I'm sure other people were wondering as well. So again, thanks so much. We still also have our course, the one that we just created, the Lead with Confidence course. We no longer have all of the additional bonuses, but I mean, the course in itself is incredible and so much added value. So definitely check it out. We've got links here in the group. So that's still available and will be for that's a forever course. Whereas our Level Up Your Leadership, that is going to be in the fall when we'll launch that again. It's more paced. And in both of those courses, we cover different aspects of goal setting and visualization and whatnot. So thanks again, you guys. That was such a great call, and look forward to our next call next week.
Sweet. Can't wait.
Okay. Bye, guys.